Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have alternative hip hop artist Shel The Philosopher and his band.
That's we. That's us.
This is Penguin. He's a legend.
Why can't I settle? Trying to figure out life is like a riddle. Was dropped right in the middle of the Atlantic, but I couldn't panic. I had to manage all the damage in order to paint my canvas. Just hope they understand it. Why? Cause this the tempo that we need. We'll bring it slow, then I'll catch them up to speed. On my word, what we write is what we bleed. Do you believe? Won't you save me? I'm drowning without you, baby. You know it's crazy, and life without you's hazy. So won't you save me? You know that I need you so, baby. Cause it gets crazy, and life without you, baby.
Okay. Just do you want to start out by just introducing yourself and what instrument you play?
All right. Well,
I don't play an instrument, so he's not talking to me.
well, yeah, that's fair. I am Aaron Gilly, colloquially referred to as Penguin. I play the drums in this band.
I'm Tyler Margelina, and I play the guitar in this band.
And Shel's on vocals.
Yeah. It's just, if I could sing, that would mean a lot more. But
What else would you like to start?
oh no, what's it is?
I just wanted to start out by just doing some fun questions. What was the first album you ever bought?
I can go first. I was just telling someone this story the other day. First album I ever bought was "Are You Experienced" by Jimi Hendrix, and it was after a long day of, I was like maybe 9 years old, 10 years old, doing a bunch of yard work for my grandfather. He said, "I'm going to buy you an album," because I just started drumming at the time, and he was telling me how I should buy an album like a flamenco guitar player, Spanish guitar. He didn't want me to do rock and roll like my dad does. And I went into Half Price Books and I grabbed it out of the shelf, and he was visibly disgusted. And I got back home, my dad was super proud. And I was like, "Is all music like this?" And he's like, "Nope, let me show you Led Zeppelin 2. So that was my first one, was Jimi Hendrix.
That's a good first start. That's a really good start.
What was yours?
Well, I can't remember the first time I ever bought, but I can remember the first time I listened to. When I was 3 years old, the first album I ever listened to was Europop by F65. You know, Blue Double D, that one. That's the first one I can remember listening to. I still remember I still love that album to this day. It's like still a big influence, because I'm not really an electronic guy, but I mean, I've been dabbling in some electronic stuff recently, like making it. But yeah,
I forgot about that.
Mine's just innocent. When I was, I think I was like 8 or 9. I don't know why Walmart had this CD, but it was like two. It was like NWA's Greatest Hits and Run DMC's Greatest Hits.
Nice.
Now my mom, she like I did too. We all missed the parental advisory sign on the NWA one. So let's just say I learned a lot of words that I hadn't really realized before. And the best part about it is like on the original Xbox, you could like upload music on there. Well, of course, I uploaded all of the NWA albums.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until like literally, what was it? Maybe like 2 or 3 years later, my dad walks in, and this one song by NWA called "Just Don't Bite It" is playing. And at first, like, he walked in like, "Wait, where did he just put it?" And then he turned around like, "Bro, what you listening to?" But yeah, that's what began my weird musical journey. And now it's stuck because now I still to this day love NWA, but
and it's only gotten weirder.
it's only gotten weirder.
Yeah.
My taste has literally only gotten weirder.
Okay. First concert you attended.
So my first concert when I was at Vanderbilt, I forget what it was even for. It was like our fall festival, and the two headliners was Childish Gambino. This is like 2012, 2013. Please remember that. So this is like Childish Gambino and then J. Cole as the headliner. And during Childish Gambino's set, it was like, yo, this is like, I don't know who this person is, but like at least I thought I didn't, but someone had showed me his videos before. And then with J. Cole, like that was like the first time I'd ever like cried from music. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's the one where he's like, I ain't scared to say that I've cried sometimes. I cry sometimes about it. I have no idea why, but you'd have thought like I was in church with like my hands up, like crying, like me too, man. I cry about it too, man. But yeah, that was mine. And after that, I was like, you know, if I ever get a chance to get up there, hopefully I can make somebody cry out there for like the good reasons, not the bad reasons. Not the bad reasons.
Yeah, you know, elicit an emotion.
My first concert I went to, I was 14. This was 2010. It was Ted Nugent.
Sweaty Teddy.
Yeah, it was Ted Nugent. My dad got tickets, and I always wanted to go to a concert, and it was a good time. It was a good show. I don't remember a lot from it, but yeah, that was the one. First one.
I remember mine super vividly. It was September 23rd, 2011, Console Energy Center. It was Mariachi El Bronx, Rise Against, and Foo Fighters.
Huh.
And it was like one of the most formative experiences of my life. Like I went there and I was a huge Foo Fighters fan. My dad was like, I'll get you tickets if you're good in school. The only year I was ever good in school my entire life. And I remember going and like I can still see everything. I remember all the songs and stuff. Like I went there and just watched like jaw on the floor the whole time, and just watching Dave Grohl do his thing and watching Taylor Hawkins doing his thing. I was like, I want to do that forever. Like what they got, I want all the time. And it was just like, it was such a good show. And every single concert I've seen since then, I'm just like, I don't know if it was that one. Like, I don't know if it's going to ever be good as that one. I got super spoiled early.
See, that was me with like the J. Cole and Childish Gambino one, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Until I went to see like Drake and Lil Wayne, and I was like, I'm not crying. You know, like, is this even a good concert? Like,
right?
Like, I'm just dancing. What is this? Like, I should be crying, right?
For me, I was like, I remember seeing it, and I was like, man, Dave Grohl's such an awesome singer and guitar player. And then someone was like, oh, you know, he was in Nirvana, and I'm like 14. I had no idea. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, they were around in the 90s. That's not the same guy. And then I see like a video. I'm like, son of a bitch, it's the same guy. Like,
it wasn't until I got out of college that I found out that Dave Grohl was in Nirvana.
Yeah.
And then it was still like another 2 years after that for me to like really actually believe it. Because when someone I was like, no, it wasn't. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to entertain that.
And then I backtracked into Nirvana after that, and I was like, this is the greatest band ever. I'm gonna die in loving the band. Like,
it's hard.
Yeah, the concert ruined my life.
For the better.
Okay. What sparked your interest in music as far as like playing drums, playing guitar? What was there like a band? Was there like did somebody give you an instrument? What happened? And what age did that start?
That one's super easy for me. My dad's a drummer, and he's been drumming his whole life. You know, he was in school, he was in the drum line, but he was a rock and roll guy. Like, they still play in a band. I'm the drummer for their band now, Gilly Brothers Band. Year 45 of them playing together. And it's, you know, really simple. Grew up seeing my dad playing in little shows, bars, in local pool, you know, things like that. And one year for Christmas, he was like, I saw him playing, and I was like messing around with the drums, and he was trying to teach me some stuff. And it's Christmas Day, and I go down into the basement, and his drum set's set up down there, and he's like, that's yours now. And I was like, okay, and like that's honestly, it sounds cute when I tell people, yeah, my dad's my drumming musical idol. And it's like, it sounds sweet, but honestly, my dad's like such a good drummer.
It's a lot
like,
to live up to.
He is insanely talented, and I hate it. Like, I'm never gonna be as good a drummer as he is, but it's such a good example to have. And it's always been that where, he grew up listening to that rebellious music of like the 70s and 80s. He was into Zeppelin and Rush and the Ramones and all of that stuff, that rebellious rock at the time. And when I was a 14, 15-year-old kid, I'm listening to Nirvana and Alice in Chains, and I'm getting into heavier metal stuff and just what the kind of shifting that dynamic forward a couple years. And he was always super supportive. He's like, go do that thing. Like, whatever you want to do with it, like, that's what we're here to see you do. So he's always been a big supporter of it. And that's what got me into it and keeps me in it, really.
Valid.
I can actually remember the date that I started playing guitar. It was December 20th, 2008. So I've been playing for about 16 years, and I started playing when I was 13. But the reason why I got into it was because I had gotten an iPod in 6th grade, and I started like discovering all this different music. And I remember specifically Black Sabbath and Soundgarden being huge influences on me at the time, and then like Nirvana and all those different like 90s grunge bands. And then my grandparents got me a guitar. They didn't get me guitar. They gave me my mom's old guitar actually. And then I just remember like noodling around on that for a little bit, and I started learning some songs, and then just getting more into the instrument, and just getting into like harder and heavier stuff, and then like the rest is history, really.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, probably once again, I was way too young to be listening to him, but like probably like around age like 6 or 7, is when I really first started like diving into Tupac, because like my dad did a really good job, because he had like all of Tupac CDs, and he did a really good job of keeping those away from me, and mostly just showing me like R&B, soul, and funk and those type of things. But I don't know, there was something about that guy who had like tattoos, and he just I don't know, there was something about him, and I was like, well, let me find out what it is. And I started listening to I started like from the beginning with like Tupacalypse Now. And I remember like the song Brenda's Got a Baby, and just like the story it told, and just how tragic it was. Like, it wasn't a happy ending in any way, shape, or form. It was a very, very tragic ending. And then you have the song Trapped. And then I just kept basically listened all the way through almost all of them. And once I did, I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a rap. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a rap like I'm Tupac. So in my mind, I started writing raps, like raps and poems for basically like artists that I liked at the time, or artists that I did like. And then as I got older, like I obviously had to I couldn't do it as much, but still like writing poems became like a therapeutic relief, especially like during basketball and everything, like when all the stress was going on with that. It made it easy to just kind of write out what I was feeling, write out my feelings, and just keep going. And then after, I don't want to say after, because it really happened at the same time. Like when I went overseas, like I went over there and I had like literally nothing. Like I had like no video games to distract me. I didn't have like Wi-Fi or really internet to distract me. All I had was just this laptop that we're talking into right now, Logic Pro, and it's around here somewhere. This microphone I got from over there, and I just started writing songs. And at first, they weren't that great, which my cousin told me. He was just like, yeah, these are trash, and you're going to agree with me in 6 months. And in 4 months, I did agree with him, because
ahead
like,
of schedule.
Yeah, ahead of schedule. Because like I'd started realizing I was trying to sound like somebody else, as opposed to just sounding like myself. But for me, as I said, I'd always written from the perspective of somebody else or another rapper. I was kind of writing in that fashion, and it took like a couple attempts at, and actually successful attempts at, doing like lucid dreaming, and just a lot of like self-reflection, and really just diving into the type of music and the type of art that I enjoy, like whether it's in movies, TV, like museums, paintings, all that. Like just diving in and kind of like trying to bring that to life. And it's kind of what like made me, once I really started like finding like my groove with it, it was like it became like very difficult to put down. Like I'd be at basketball practice, like thinking of a beat. I'd be thinking of like thinking of raps and like thinking of rhymes and stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, the moment I leave here, like I'm sprinting to like the hotel and just taking care of this. So for me, it's just been like a long journey where it's like I was trying to like be like, no, we're not going to do it. And then once COVID hit, I was like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do. So why not? Like, let's just, so yeah, that was kind of how a brief intro to how I got here, I guess.
Okay. Who would you say are some of your musical influences on your instruments? As far as who do you look up to?
There's so many. Do you want the short version?
Just name your top three.
Band wise, Every Time I Die is my favorite band. I mean, I love their music. They're one of the most important. I told you that the Foo Fighters is like my favorite band. Every Time I Die has like kind of eclipsed it, just in terms of how much it hits me. Just their music had like struck a chord in my heart that I didn't really know was there. Like put words to thoughts that I didn't know had words. And I saw him one time at Warped Tour, the last Warped Tour, and it was like how Shel was saying when he was like sitting crying when J. Cole was there. Like I'm in the mosh pit, like weeping like a child during their song Map Change, and it just changed my life. So it's just the aggression of that, like, and I think it's something that they see a lot of when I play is like I always lead with that aggressive edge, just because it's such a release for me, And music should do that. Like I say as a joke, it should kill you. Like it should wear you out. Like it should be everything you have. You should give it all the time with it, and then you should do anything you love that way.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the big catalysts for me. Obviously Foo Fighters. Beyond that, probably next up is Nirvana. Just that rebellious attitude, just the songwriting, and just from a drumming standpoint, that sound, that aggression is how I try to tune my snare. It's how I try to develop my patterns to complement everything. So, I promise that was the short version. Those are my big three.
I thought it was two.
No, Every Time I Die, Foo Fighters and Nirvana.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I missed Foo Fighters.
Yeah, Goose from from Every Time I Die, Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, and Dave Grohl. So those are the big three.
Makes sense.
Well, I'll give you 3 bands and 5 guitar players. So
he's changing the rules.
You got time to think.
So my probably my all-time favorite band right now, because it changes like every decade.
4 minutes.
No, hell no. No, my favorite is they're on my shirt, Typo Negative. I love Typo Negatives because it's like if you take like a poppy kind of song structure, but you just make it really sludgy and heavy, and Peter Steele's vocals mixed with his bass is that's just a life-changing combination right there. That's not even really the right word, but
it is though.
I mean, it is. Let's see, what's another big? Between the Buried and Me, because I'm really into the prog stuff. They're just so fast, and their songs sound like this is gonna sound funny, but it sounds like really fast sorbet ice cream. It's because there's so many colors and it's just running together so quickly, and it's just their music tastes good if it had a taste. And then who else? Who else? Alice in Chains. Probably Alice in Chains is the next one. It's just like Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell's harmonies, and Jerry Cantrell can riff like a motherfucker, and Alice in Chains is probably one of the best rock bands of all time. And then when it comes like, influences my own instrument, Steve Vai for sure, because like he's a melodic genius. Alan Holdsworth, who I'm getting like really into. His music's like like sorbet but for guitar. It's just like it's so like, and sorbet is not complex, but like his stuff is like really complex. But it's just
tasty.
It's a cacophony of fuck.
It's just real tasty.
It's a tasty cacophony of fuck.
It's fun stuff.
I hope we can cuss.
We should have asked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I was hoping.
He just ends the call and just texts you like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, your band sucks. Like,
three other guitar players to go through.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Let's see. Misha Manzor from Periphery. Paul Wagner from Between the Buried and Me. And then I can't even think of the fifth one.
You got one?
Who else do I like?
Fuck, why are you asking me? like I know. I know I should.
Probably like I can't think of a fifth one. We'll just leave it at 4.
Leave it 4.
Leave it at 4.
We'll leave it at 4. That's right. Shel, you've had plenty of time to think about your actions.
I have, and I've like flipped back and forth. I wish I could have locked in on something, but I mean, for me, like one of my greatest inspirations is like Michael Jackson. Just like the willingness he was to like experiment, try different stuff, but also like not just experiment and like, okay, we're just gonna fuck around and see what happens, but more like, no, you can try to perfect it. Like he was a perfectionist. And then as I got older, I grew to appreciate Prince a lot more because he was just like no, I don't like whenever I play it's perfection. Like I don't need to sit around and wait. Like anytime I get, pick up an instrument, anytime I sing, like it's perfection. As I got older, I grew to really, really just appreciate him. In terms of like bands, probably like, I mean, it might shock people, but like the band Placebo, like they're one of like they're like probably top 3 for me. Just like I just love their style of music, and it's just there's just a certain emotion that they put into their songs, and it was one of the first times like first rock groups that really just resonated with me to the point where I was like, I need to look up all of your discography and see what's really going on with you guys. Like Florence and the Machine as well. Like shout out to my friend Lizzie. Like during COVID, or like during the beginning stages of it, and even before that, she had already got me like listening to a few of their songs, and I just always loved like the haunting nature of like Florence Welch's voice, and just like her storytelling ability. How like like just by listening to her songs, you're like transported to wherever she is, like in her mind, or you're transported to like her world, and she can just, I'm not explaining. She just has this type of aura, I guess would be the word, as the young kids say nowadays. The aura,
as those young kids say, which we no longer are.
Yeah. But yeah, Florence, like even to this day, like the album Lucy, like I call her like my like evil dream girl, but like a lot of this album, or like a lot of my inspiration for like, no, let's go there and let's try it, was like her last album, King, and she has a song on there called like Dream Girl Evil, and just like as I was making the album, I would go back and constantly listen to that song, and there's like a part in the second half where she's kind of like really just going in on whoever she is talking to, and for me, it's like that's who I wanted to try to make like Lucy kind of be, like that mysterious dream witch that's out in the woods casting spells to like lure you out there. And so yeah. Now I could go on for days, but those are just 4 that were on top of my head at the moment.
Okay. How did you guys team up together?
Well, Tyler and I have been a team for forever. I mean,
I've been for as long as I've been playing guitar.
I was going to say exactly how many days. I was kind of scared for a second. That's some shit he would know.
It's been over 16 years.
Yeah. See, I was going to say like, I don't know, maybe 15 or something. But no, me and him have been like, attached at the hip since we were in middle school.
Yeah.
I've been in almost every band I've ever been in with him. Like I've only it's been we were in little grunge bands together. We had 14 Yellow. We were in together. Loopzilla is he and I still and we were performing with Liz Scott for a long time, and we were kind of the rhythm section for her band. It's kind of how we got latched up with Shel, where he was we met him through her, and we were kind of hanging out, and he was showing us his music, and at practice we'd all just be hanging out, and he's like, yo, see how this sounds, and we would just jam over whatever and kind of get the gears turning. And once we were kind of just doing our own thing, he came to us and was like, I need you guys to do that for me. And I'm like, that's sick, because your music's sick. And it's something that's really cool. I feel like a lot of bands, they kind of have to, the creative process is so difficult because it's differing opinions and differing ideals about music and what you want. We're pretty spoiled in that, pretty much everything that one of us brings to the table, we all think is pretty good. We're all critical of one another, we all kind of filter out what we think is good and what's not, but we all think what we do is dope, honestly. And that makes it a lot easier to work together.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's thing when you said for me, once I wrote out my first album and everything, I moved that's when I moved from DC back up to Pittsburgh, and I kind of took the first year and some change that I was up here to just get acclimated with the area and just the music scene just in general. And the more I kind of got into it, there was you have the hip hop rap side that I could have easily leaned into more. But then there was this alternative side, and I was like, huh, what if that's more like me? The alternative side is more like me. And then through a good friend of mine's, Alante, who was
another dope creator,
another very, very insanely dope creator. He one night, he used to come up to Pittsburgh, and we would just literally work on a beat, go home, we'd write our parts out, and the next week come up and we record it, and then I'd mix and master it while we're making the next beat. And then one day he was like, hey, I think actually no, it might have been me. I brought up just Liz, or he might have been talking about her, and I was like, oh, I'm a big fan of her, her style, just I didn't even know she did music at that point. I just followed her on Instagram, and I was like, oh yeah, she has a dope aesthetic, it really is. And then got to hang out, and then after a while, I got to go to, I can't remember the first show y'all I went to. Might have been the Government Center. I'm not sure.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, probably.
That sounds right.
It was a big hangout spot for us.
I think
we did tear that place up a bunch.
So yeah, I met them, and then it was kind of one of those things. I was like, I'm still, I had no real, I guess, real belief that it'll be hard to match rap with rock. It's gonna be hard to do. But the more I was around them, and the more, as they said, I would be like, hey, could you guys try playing this? Or hey, could you guys try playing this? And it kind of started creating this sound where I was like, that's not rap, that's not rock, that's I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. It sounds really good. I don't know what it is, but it sounds really good. And then, as they said, once they were kind of on their own, I just kind of floated the idea out, hey, you guys want to play? And then our first show we played was at the Forge, and it was so weird because to me, I have that part where I'm a perfectionist about it. So I'm listening for everything that's going wrong. But once we got done performing, it was everyone was paying attention. Everyone was fully locked in. They were moving, dancing. They were following along with the story we was telling on stage. And by the time we got off, it was kind of yeah, we might have something here. We might. And then we ran it back a couple more times, and then it was yeah, we have something here. We do. And so now, yeah, it's kind of how we ended up here. It was it's almost we all had our own reasons for ending up at this spot. Like we all had like our own, like they help, as he said, like we all kind of contribute in our own individual ways. Like they help like me elevate the stuff that I write and any beats that are made. It kind of like help turn it into, I don't even know. It's like beyond a genre in a way. So that's kind of what they can help turn it into and take it to like another level. And when that happens, it helps me kind of like just, you know, shout out to Eminem. It helps me lose myself on stage and just like not think about like, oh, I wonder if this is going to look corny or this is going to look crazy or it's going to look weird. But it's like no, it just helps me be like, no, this is what I make music for, is to get up here and have this freeing experience. And whenever it's like they're playing so loud that I literally basically can't hear anything, I just got to go with it and just enjoy myself on stage. And that's, to me, that's been like my favorite part about it, is just like this freeing aspect of it. Like we had like our first rehearsal in a while, like Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
And like the beforehand, I wasn't in the world's greatest mood, but like once we started going, I think it may have been like 2 songs in, I like kind of turned to them and I was like, yeah, I forgot how much I enjoy doing this shit. Like I forgot how
it's like a cup of coffee, man. Like
it is.
It hits your soul, man. Like, and that's something that I've always felt like when it comes to performing. Like something my dad instilled in me a long time, like for the longest time really, is, you know, go out and do something, like be the best at what you're doing, and whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it to your fullest potential. And as a performer, like as honest as I can be, I'm never gonna be able to play the fastest or the cleanest, or play the most techie, you know, best chops you've ever heard in your life. But no one's gonna go out there and bleed for it the way I do. You know, so I'm going to give more energy than anybody. Like I'm going to go out there and punch a hole in the place. Like, you know, and it's something that when we played with Liz, we had that all the time, where we'd go play a show and you'd have for 30 minutes, you have the people in the palm of your hand, and you leave and it just like, you feel like you cratered the place. You know, you're like, oh my God, like this place is not the same anymore. And we had that, I think our first time we really had that, like the Forge, we kind of left an impact on everybody that was there. But then when we played at Millvale Music Fest last year, and we were all like, it was like, you know, riding on the back of a hurricane. You're just like, we're making a mess of this place. Like everybody's moving, like everyone was standing back doing the Pittsburgh thing where everyone sits with a drink and they all hang back and they all think it's cool, you know? But once we start to get into it, you see everyone starting to shuffle forwards, and everyone sees that start to happen, so everybody gets close.
See, that was what was. All right, so I noticed this like when we first got out there, like there was people there, like there was like a good amount of people, but by the time we got to like the 3rd song, like there had been like a lot of people who had like funneled in, so like it started getting like a lot like just a lot more crowded, and as Penguin said, like it was like riding on the back of like a hurricane. That is the perfect description. Because like I don't know. To me, that's like performance is like it'll be like a peak to me. Like not a peak. It'll be always like a highlight, because like my mindset into it was like, all right, this got to be perfect. This has to be perfect. We have to hit this here. We got to do this here. We got to make sure we get this. And the moment we stepped on stage, like Tyler, like he went to play and like unplug his guitar, and I was just like, all right, well, it can't get worse.
We lost the track at one point, kept going. Like we had to reconnect the audio, and I was like behind the drum set signaling to T-Long to like have him like plug it in. So while I'm playing, I'm like one hand like going like this to him, and he just thinks I'm like trying to hype him up. So he's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, we're not having fun. Like,
and like the manager at the time, Brandon, like he was behind Penguin like filming, and I'm literally like on camera, you can see me like yelling at him like, go check. But in his mind, he's like, yeah, man, you're killing it. I'm like, no, go check. Like, go check what's wrong. I'm like, I don't care what's like, something's wrong. Like the music cut off. And then there was just like that weird part where it was like, all right, do we start over? Or do we just act like that didn't happen and keep going?
Yeah,
You know,
and
I
like
remember from that. I think the song was playing was Wretched Heart.
it was Wretched Heart.
was.
It was
cut
Wretched
out,
Heart.
But like it cut out. But we played that song like so perfectly that when the phone came back in, we were right back on like to the track we were supposed to be on next.
I'll never keep time that well in my life. Like it was crazy.
And like it cut out, and I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
I still know my parts. So
Like, I had my in-ears and they just went dark, and I'm like, I took them out and I'm like trying to find the sound, and I look at Shel and he shakes his head and just gives me one of these, and I'm like, all right, man. Band leader says we're playing on, like we're rolling.
So like, and just the like so how the show started, and then after that once the music came back on, it was like obviously there was a little bit of a part where we had to it died. Not want to say it died down. It was kind of like an intermission a little bit, but we didn't lose any momentum. It was like we kind of built back up and back to where we was going with like the really like that was like one of the first times we played Dark.
Yeah.
Like live.
Yeah.
I think it was the second time we played Dark live.
Yeah.
It was because we played. It was the second time. I can't remember the first time.
I think it was the Forge.
We played it at the Forge first, and then we played it. Yeah,
it was because I had my other.
And it was just everything we did at the Forge right, plus everything else like built on top of it, just with being more in sync, understanding how we operate better. Like
that I will say that was when I was like, yeah, we really are in sync, because the music cut out, and as Penguin said, it wasn't even that I wanted to keep going. It was just I was already rapping, and so like I just was kind of like, all right, we're at this weird part where like the beat hasn't fully kicked in yet, and I was just like, I hope he just keeps going. I hope he just keeps going, and then we just all were in sync and just kept playing, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. It doesn't like that. That's when like the perfection stuff went right out the window, and I was like, that's right. This is supposed to be fun. Like this is supposed to be up here. Like the hard part is sometimes coming up with the music, not performing it. So like it kind of reminded me like, oh yeah, like there's a crowd out there. You're playing with some good friends. It's like, yeah, let's just make this happen. Let's just make this happen. Keep it rolling. So. To me, yeah, that was that was a great performance. That was fun. That was a great day.
Are you relaxed? Is it kicked in? You can't leave.
Trapped in a vortex, man, I should have been left. I don't know what's next. She's a devil in a red dress, playing Russian roulette. Maybe this is God's test. Was developed in the dark. The spectrum of my heart could destroy who we are. But why did you start? Yeah, I played my part. It's gone too far. It's in her sounds, it's in her words, it's in her tone. She's in my blood, she's in my veins, and she's in my bones. And I don't wanna be here, I shouldn't be here, but I don't wanna be alone. And I don't wanna be away from her for too long. Fight back, please fight back. Come on, fight back, fight back, fight back, fight back, please fight back. Fight back, fight back, fight back.
I was at that show. I went there to see you guys that night, and I was totally blown away. And I looked around at the crowd, and they were totally all in it. And it was like almost like a sold out show. It was packed in there.
It was nuts. It was nuts. Like we were walking up there, and it's, kind of taking a peek out and looking. You're like, oh my God, there's a lot of people out here. Like, and for like the approach that I know I take when I go and perform, it's like give me, same energy for 10 people and for 10,000 people. But like, man, when that place is full, it feels really good.
It does.
You're like, I cannot wait to, get out there and just make some shit happen. Like, and that whole show, like every song, even through when Wretched Heart got screwed up and we keep going, it was just like the whole time I was like, oh my God, like we are not missing. Like
And honestly, because of it cut out, it showed me like, oh, this is how we should incorporate some of the elements we did that night into playing it from now on, because like there were certain parts where it would drop out and it was like, oh wait, yeah, I have everyone's attention, and now it's like we still like have like the cadence going, we still have everyone's still on like this ride, and it's like, and the beat's not playing. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I think we have them here. And
so you learn more from your failures than you from like your successes.
You
know,
you really do.
You're just like, that actually did work. You know.
What's your favorite song off of Lucy to play live?
Dark. I don't really think it's particularly close. Like for me, I think that's just the one that like it's so fun. I think it's the one that we have the most locked in, like performance on. I hate that it kind of has to be the ending song, because I wish we just play it like, do the Travis Scott Fiend thing and play it 11 times every night. but that's probably my favorite. Shell Shock is super fun to do too. It's just for me that's a sprint. It's a 4-minute just like, you know, boxing match with my drum set.
Yeah, just look at Penguin's face anytime we play Shell Shock. It looks like he's in the middle of a fight, especially like there's a middle part of it where it's like once we're building back up towards like the second half, he usually does this look where it's like he kind of just looks up. It's like, all right, we'll get through this one. We got it. We got it.
Well, it's like you're taking short breaths the whole time, and I have to like remember that I need to breathe normally, and like, you know, it's just such a mess.
It is.
Like,
sounds incredible though.
Shell literally said it at practice on Saturday. We played it back to back, like played 2 times in a row, and he was like, "Penguin, I don't think you enjoy playing this song." Like, no, this is like one of my favorites, I promise.
Your face doesn't say that.
But yeah, no, I don't wear it. I don't wear it at all. But Dark is super fun. Like, I think we get the whole like dancey vibe to it. Just this real low, kind of like building bass. Like people just start dancing. Like I'm behind the drum set, and like I'm like sick that I can't just get up and start moving. Like so, and that one, like, and that was kind of when we played that song for the first time. That was the one that honestly, that was the first moment I was like, this is gonna kill. Like this is gonna resonate. And for me, I laughed because the first time we played it, Sheldon started dancing and like was gone.
Yeah, like, I left the stage. He just
went off and started dancing, and I was like, "How's the guy that tall get lost?" and I'm like, "I'm just gonna play because I don't know where he is, so I'm just gonna keep moving."
It worked perfectly though.
It did, but yeah, no, that's I don't know if there's another right answer other than Dark.
My favorite song to play is either, this is a new one we just started playing. It's probably either Lights Up or Lucille.
Fun. Lucille is so
lights, because that rhythm's just so bouncy. It's like ding, 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 ding. I fucking love that one.
So for me, it is so weird. Like, it's like picking between one of your favorite kids. You're not supposed to. At least that's what my mom tells me.
You love them all equally, but if you had to pick one.
If I had to, oh god, because like each one of them has something different. Like with Dark, if there is this like, I don't even know. It's like this. It's like this energy or like this force just kind of like takes over me, and it's almost like an outer body experience even for myself until like the song's over, and then I'm like, oh, did I just do that? Hope it wasn't too. All right. I hope that wasn't too embarrassing. Or like, hope I didn't trip, fall, or just. But it's just like it. Literally, you have to go to like a different place to perform it, and then like Lucille, like there's like I don't even know. It's like a Delta blues type style, like or at least that's how I hear it. Like guitar part that Tyler does, and then just like the funkiness of like the drum parts that Penguin like adds on. It's like one of my favorite ones to perform to, just because like it just feels like the energy's building up. So usually that's why like I'll have like Lucille leading into Dark, because it's like it just feels like a perfect mixture. But like we just played like the leading track Lucy for the first time like at practice, and it was like I was like, holy shit, how have we not brought this out yet? Like this is Jesus, this is a secret weapon I didn't even know we had. And then then the same thing, like the song's sick. It's like it took me a while to get to make sure I had all the words down. Yeah, produced by Tyler, by the way. It took me a while to get all the words down, just because I wrote them on a piece of paper, recorded it, and then lost the paper. So I've never, so I never really. But once I got the words down and the rhythm down, and it's they've had the rhythm down for it from the first time we played it, and it's one of those ones where I get to really scream and just yell. And for me, whenever that happens, I always notice there's this shift whenever whoever is there, they're kind of oh, what is he yelling about? Are you okay, my guy? And it's but for me, it's it's a perfect. It really legit is. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick. That's.
They're all your favorites.
They're all my favorite. I mean, I'd have to go with either Lucille or Dark, just because, as I said, they're two that they just play so well together. Actually, I take that back. It might be Faces.
Faces is fun,
especially when Kat's there and she when Kat's there, she just adds a whole nother element to it because she's such a talented vocalist that she can just take her voice in so many different directions. And honestly, the version that's on the album, I didn't know that version existed until we got to Millvale. And literally, as we're doing it, I'm hearing her sing, and I'm like, what version of this song is this? We need to put this on the album. Geez. And then literally, I think 3 or 4 days later, we went to the studio and recorded that version, with the extra ad libs and her singing and all the parts that she added on. So, you know what? I'm the more I think about it, the more I'm gonna keep coming up with a new answer. So I'll go with Faces to be different from the crowd in this situation.
Cave from quiet and domes, threw me in the middle cause I be the sector zones. To the shooters for the kick out, the lineup's already picked out. In the garage ready to rick out, quiet God and bring my, there ain't no quick route. Nah, into my faces in the crowd. Are you laughing with me now? Tell me, did I make you proud? Tell me when I let you down. Till my face is in the crowd. Are you laughing with me now? Tell me, did I make you proud? Tell me when I let you down. Doubts, I already curved it. Oh, you got a lot going on? Yeah, I already heard it. The road is long and only built for the strong, that's how I prefer it. Look, gyms along the trail to remind myself just why it's worth it. I was raised with a purpose, I was trained to be perfect. It don't matter if you deserve it, really don't matter if you earned it. Game is won by those who seize, not by thieves who always freeze. In their moments of unease, they come up short and try to sneeze, but oh, not me.
You know, you were talking about collaborations and stuff on your Lucy album. You collaborated with Samurae and Barbados Black on four different tracks there. Can you tell me how that came about, working with them?
Well, me and Barbados, we met at Rock Till Morning, and at time, I mean, I love it about him, but I can see why other people might might make them a little nervous. But he can be very standoffish if you don't know him. and so we were working together at RTM, and I never really got a chance to listen to his music, and I saw him perform live, and I was like, yo, he's something. I don't know what it is, but he's it. And I think around that time we had rented that RTM to shoot Vampire Dreams for Liz, and showing him the behind the scenes pictures and the videos that I had of it. He was like, oh, you into the same stuff I'm into? And I was like, yeah, yeah. And then after that, I think I invited him one time to the studio, and we made Wretched Heart, and then we just got to talk, and it was oh, we're a lot more alike than we thought. we just are. And And then with Dark, it was kind of like I had written that song like literally. I'd written that back in like 2020, and for me, I was just trying to find like the right vocalist who could express what I was trying to say, or because like I couldn't sing it, and I needed to be like a male singer, but it needed to be someone who had like that type of style and knew what I was writing about. They knew how to bring it to life because it wasn't that far from their own art, and we were like I just finished some other song. He was there, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. And I was like, hey, B, you want to be on this song? And then like he was like, what song? So I started playing the beat. I rapped it out for him, and the whole time he's just like moving his head, like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, this is yeah. And then he was just like, this is fire, like this is crazy, like, dang, yeah, let's do this. And then I remember he recorded it, and like I usually had a rule with the studio, like I wouldn't listen to any of the music on the drive home or even like that night. I would try to wait till the next day. But it was one where like the moment I got home, I was sitting there chilling and I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, what did we just make? What did we just and it I didn't know what we had just made. I was just kind of like, I don't know what this is, but like I've never heard. I don't know. Let's see how other people feel about it. So then we went and performed it once, and just the look on everybody's faces, where it was kind of like they're once again, you can tell when people are paying attention and when they're not paying attention. And not only were they paying attention, but they were like moving and dancing, and it was like they were like hanging on to like the words I was saying too, as well as like and then once again, like just talk about being in sync with them. Like the same thing with Barbados. Like when we were on stage, just like he would be finishing the lines that like at the exact moment I'm running out of breath. Like it was like I don't know if he knew it or not, but it was just like I was 2 seconds from taking a and that's whenever he would finish the line, and then we just kind of caught like such a good rhythm. And then we also worked together like on my on this song called The Return too. And really he just kind of helped. He really did. He just helped me kind of like learn how to express myself, and even as a performer, like he's one of my like I definitely would say he's like an inspiration and motivator for me, because like he keeps me on my toes, because like every time he gets back on the stage, it's like he's going harder, and he's getting more out there, and his music is he's trying new things and trying different things, and it always sounds amazing. And so for me, it's like it's almost like it's a friendly competition where it's like, okay, let me, all right, I'll see what I can do to match that. All right, let's see. Or let's see if I can match it or take it to the next level. And it's like by us pushing each other to just get better, it's like I mean, for me, it brought me out of like my comfort zone and helped me like make Lucy. And so that's why like he's like the finishing voice on the album. And with Samurae, like I just have always thought she's an amazing artist. And we had like once again, like we met at RTM too, but our meeting was different. Like the person that was running RTM, they made it kind of seem like I had somehow offended Samurae, so I thought she was mad at me for like a year and a half. When she wasn't at all. Like what had happened was he had sent me a beat. He had sent her the same beat. She had already recorded on it, and I didn't know that. And I was writing to it, and when she played the song, it was like the song Shooting Star, if you get a chance to listen to it. It's really, really incredible. And I was like, yo, this song is, I'm like watching her perform it, and I'm like, yo, that's the beat you sent me. But I was like, but I ain't doing anything with it like that. So, hey, you got it, girl. You got it. And then after the show, I went to go tell her that, but the way I phrased it, I was like, hey, so-and-so sent us the same beat. And then as I'm saying that, someone tapped me on the shoulder. So I turn around, and when I turn back around, she's not there anymore.
Oh, no.
So she thought I was saying that like in a malicious, well, that was how it was explained to me, that she thought I was saying it in a malicious way. Once me and her actually got a chance to like sit down, talk, and actually hit like rap about it, it was kind of like, no, I didn't know. You just turned around, so I thought you were done talking. So she just walked away. And like in hindsight, it makes so much sense. But at the time, I was like, oh, well, she doesn't like me. And And so when I was putting together Lucy, like the song Stray Thoughts, I'd had that beat for a while, and I started writing out that to kind of fit in with like with the story arc and where this the story of the album. And so I wrote like the first verse and like the hook, and then she came up with like this her second verse, and it was just one of those moments where it was like, yep, 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 I knew you was, yep, we're in sync too. We're in sync. We're just all painters that are in sync with each other. That's kind of how it seems like. And then so was able, and then they had her on Lights Up as well. It's kind of like a part where when I was writing the song or writing my verse, I was like, "Ooh, it'd be really dope, like if if on the album who's supposed to be Flo, if she comes back in here and kind of basically gives like the final warning that like, hey, hope you're ready because like the show's moving on with or without you." And once again, I'm just lucky to kind of be to have her on the album and really just to be able to play and work with so many like dope musicians and so many dope like just I'm not going to say the word because I always mess. It's like instrumentalists or whatever. I might have said it right the first time.
There you go.
Might have said it right the first time in my
There
life.
you go.
That was a first. I've never gotten. But so yeah, just to be able to work with this many dope people, it's kind of for me, it's kind of been like art or like art reflecting reality or art or reality reflecting art, where it's like the stuff that I wrote about, it's kind of almost like coming to life in ways that like I didn't really even see it happening or really could have even imagined. And they like some have like have their own different meanings, and others are a little bit more plain. But at the end of the day, it's like it to me, it's just like I just find it as like an honor to be able to work with so many like dope artists and so many dope producers. I'm not going to risk it. So many dope musicians. I was going to say that I word again, but I got it the first time.
There you go. You only need one.
Yeah, stay one for one.
And you got it on camera.
It's important. It's like a practice later.
Too cold to hold, too bold to fall. Her dream life is my wife, that's what I sold. Like getting old, never consoled. My irrational fears of being controlled. So when you told me if I leave, you be packing. Every time that this happens, always think that you're capping for attention. You was acting like you wanted something more, so I stormed out the door. But tonight I'm feeling sure.
I want you to touch me, hold me, kiss me, mold me. I just want your arms around me. Oh, tell me we can chill in the nighttime. You write rhymes, lay low while I mind. Touch me, hold me, kiss me, mold me. I just want your arms around me. Oh, tell me we can chill in the nighttime. You write rhymes, lay low while I mind.
We on the low.
You write rhymes, lay low while I
On the low.
You write rhymes, lay low while I
What's your plans for 2025? Do you have any upcoming shows?
So yeah, we have February 14th at the Poetry Lounge. We'll be doing Hearts on Fire. We'll be we added like bases. Once again, I really don't know how any of this stuff happens. It really just happens. I genuinely don't. It's like I'm just along for the ride, and I just haven't gotten off of like this lightning bolt yet, and it just keeps it. I don't know. It just keeps attracting I don't even say the right people. It just keeps attracting just people that just know how to play. And so yeah, we'll be doing that, and I'll be like Barbados will also be there. Kat will be performing like a few of like her original songs with another band named called Faded and Jaded. Cookie, who's also on the album, she'll be performing that night. And then there'll be Kinetic, and then my guy Sir Lord, he'll be also performing. So it's more of like, honestly, my plan for 2025 is just learning how to like showcase us more, like get us onto more shows where we're in front of like kind of like how it was at the last like local 724 show with like Glass Waves, where that's the type of crowd where we're just different enough. Like there's just enough rock elements, there's just enough rap elements, there's enough pop elements, house elements. There's a lot that's mixed in where it's like there's no way that somebody listening to this is not something isn't going to catch their ear, whether it's the guitar, the drums, the lyrics, like the backing track, whatever. Something is going to catch their ear and it'll get them like oh yeah, okay, I don't know what this is, but like I don't know this feeling that I'm having right now, but I like it. Like that's the that's the goal. And so for 2025, it's more just trying to focus on, as I said, like promoting and getting us out there more, because spending like what this is just in terms of like the Pittsburgh scene, this is going on like my 4th year like up here and like really kind of in it. And something I've learned, and it's something that like my agent taught me a long time ago, is that like you can't chase something, you have to make it chase you. And for a while, I know for myself, I was definitely chasing like the music business and trying to like find that. And the more I got into it, the more I was like, it not for nothing, it just comes off like a scam a lot of times. It can feel like a scam because like sometimes you might have to dumb like, as they say, dumb down your music to make more money, or dumb down to get across or appeal. And it's like I genuinely feel like we don't have to do that. I think just a lot of my energy and focus was like playing like the Pittsburgh like music political game. And at this point, like I'm just more focused on like getting on stage and performing with these guys, getting on stage and getting Cat and Sir Lord, getting Barbados, like kind of transitioning away from just being like Shel the Philosopher and kind of like turning into like what I call like the Wretched Hearts Club, which is kind of just where like you never know who's going to be on stage with us that night. Like you don't, but it's going to be a show like you've never seen before and one that you won't forget. So that's the plan for 2025 till infinity.
That's all of us. Yeah, just trying to be involved more and trying to really lean into what we're capable of, and just be out there, and just do a lot of what we kind of built on the last year. Just carry that energy, carry that momentum, be present. I know for myself, like I just want to be on stage. I just want to go out there and play. So I don't care if it's to 5 people or 500. Like I just want to go play. I guess this is kind of like sort of like a world premiere, I guess. But I just joined a band recently called Last Call. They were former members of the Whiskey Rebellion as their bass player. So they have a super awesome drummer bar, and they needed a bass player. And I was like, I haven't played bass in a while, but I'll do it. And it's just because they were asking when I first met them. They're all super awesome guys, John and Zach. And they asked me, why do you want to do this? And I was like, I just really don't like sitting at home and not being out there. Like, I just want to go in front of somebody and throw my instrument around and then go home. And I think that's a lot of what we all just want to do, is just to be part of it. I think it's so easy to kind of like what Shel said, like it's so easy to get caught in this loop of seeing how the Pittsburgh music scene is and kind of getting into the cycle of bitching about how, you can't make it because there's this and this going on. You got to buddy up with these people to do anything. And then you tell everyone you want to collab. And then, and they've heard me say this a million times, you meet somebody, you say, let's collab someday. Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll never hear from them again. They'll like your story 6 months from now. And then you'll never hear from them again, Like, or someone's like, oh my God, man, you produced? Let's rock and roll, man. Yeah, get me on. It's cool. And then you'll never hear from them again. T-Long knows all about that. Yeah. Tyler's a monster producer in his own right. He knows all about that. Like,
yeah, that's somebody coming over this Thursday though to record with.
And it's kind of how it goes. But the antidote for all of that is just get your ass out there and play. It's why I teamed up with Last Call, because they're just super dope guys that want to be out there playing, and that's fits my bill. And it's like it's all a hard rock that I grew up listening to and loving and still do. And I was like, this is what we do. And we're in the process of putting together a kick-ass show. And that's all I want to do in 2025 is play kick-ass shows. 0 duds allowed,
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be successful. it's basically the same as some of the same shit. Like get in front of more people, like play live and stuff like that. But like also like to build up my clientele base with like my own little production studio, which is called 14 Yellow Records. Because I produce, mix, master. I went to school for. I can do all that shit.
You can unicycle.
Yeah, well, I don't play songs at the same time.
You can't unicycle.
And just like I also like to start, getting out like because we have like you said in the beginning, we have a project called Loopzilla, and we haven't released an album in like a whole year. We haven't written for stuff in like about 2 years, and it'd be nice to put something out again.
I can feel him staring a hole through the back of my head while he's talking about that, and that's super cool.
I'm sitting on like a mountain of riffs. It's just it's tough to get him to put drums on them.
Where can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I think we're all on Instagram.
Yeah, all on Instagram.
I'm at Legend Penguin. Again, I'm on with my dad's band at the Gilly Brothers Band. We're playing in April at the Crafty Jackalope, which is one of our favorite places to play. Last Call will be kind of debuting stuff very soon. So we're keeping it a little bit under wraps until we have everything all put together, but we're going to hit the ground at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So that's coming up soon. I'm Legend Penguin on everything. Aaron Gilly on Facebook. It's my God-given name.
I'm Tiberius_Crash on Instagram, or you can follow Loopzilla, or you can follow 14 Yellow Records, which is also my Instagrams, or just Tyler Marcellino on Facebook. Yeah.
And
I can't remember your
I hate this
handle.
part so much. No, I did. No, I changed it to just Shel the Philosopher.
Yeah.
Because I just figured that was smart. It used to be Shel Fuego, but it's like Shel the Philosopher, like on Instagram and Facebook. Also, feel free to check out my YouTube page. I'm about to start uploading there a lot more of like the behind the scenes. Like I call it like the Life with Lucy series, but and then we're also for me, one of my like next creative ventures is kind of creating like the Lucy movie. Like we had like a test shooting night at the Poetry Lounge, and it went just so our friend Skylar, he's going to be helping us, and also feel free to check out Tyler Got Grip, on Instagram,
Oh yeah,
so
he's a pretty cool dude.
Go on.
For 5 seconds.
He's been sitting over here the whole time.
He's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
There he is.
If you want some really, if you want some fire beats, like he made Lights Up.
These two
and
never
Shell
miss.
Shock. Yeah, they don't.
He
They
never
not.
misses, by the way.
Like they really don't miss. So but yeah, as I said, I'm lucky to have all these amazing musicians and artists around me, and if you want to see what we're getting up to, check out our Instagrams, YouTube, Facebook. I don't really care if there's any more social media beyond that. Like I don't even like.
You don't have a Blue Sky? What's going on?
No, like you can look at my Twitter, but like I haven't posted anything in like 2 years. Like I just don't like. Yeah. I guess there's a TikTok. I mean, for like what 70 or 68 more days or something. I don't know. We'll figure it.
We'll be out there wherever you can find people. We'll be findable.
Yeah, but if you really want to get a real feeling for what we are, make sure if you really want to get a feel for who we are, I'd recommend catching the show. And the one thing I can guarantee is like anybody that sees us play live, as I said, they won't forget it, and it's something that'll stick with them. Like I do know that much. So.
And if you come see us play, I apologize in advance for yelling at you.
I don't.
Because I will.
I don't.
And I'll feel bad about it.
I won't.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you so much for having us. To anybody out there that's listening and they want to get into the music business, I would just always remember why you got into it. Like for me, I didn't get into the music business to make a bunch of money. I got in it to make music that helped like heal me and I feel like I've begun that journey, and I'm excited to continue on that journey. So anybody out there that's thinking about getting into music or wants to dive into it, don't go into it with the mindset of like, oh, I just want to make a bunch of money. Like, go into it trying to make stuff that makes you a better human being.
And don't go into it with your hands in your pockets, shy. Don't walk into a room with your music in your hand and say, I hope you guys really like this. I made this. Like, go in, chest out, like, this is what the fuck I have to offer.
Come out when it's swaying.
Like, it's, when I joined up with Last Call, it was the same thing. I'm like, I'm not the best bass player they're going to talk to, but I am going to be the one that jumps around and loves it more than the rest of them. And that's how I've approached everything. It's how you should approach everything you do. Like, let it completely enfold you. Let it just embody it.
Let it ensconce you.
Oh, what a college word. I hope that means what he thinks it means.
I hope so too.
I trust him. He's leading me this long.
Kiss the serpent, got the taste of venom. It's a match, she attracted to the snake within. I'm strict to my veins with my pain, where her aura is swimming. I gotta go, I'm serious, no more kidding. I know it sounds like fun, but I need to run. Her desire is to skin me alive with her tongue. And look, I know it's hard to see through the facade. I need to sober up quick and get the hell out of Dodge. It just happened so fast, I mean the time just passed. I need to break the glass, need to resist the ass. It's time to find the nerve to fight against the urge to go into the room, unleash the beast and purge. But I gave you my word that it was out of my system. She sang a song and then I found my rhythm. Right back in the trap shit. Why didn't I listen? We'll fight back till you black or you'll stay in a prison. So fight back, just fight back.